All right, Jonathan Marshall does a great job covering the NBA, and he's kind enough, does a good job covering Texas and Dallas basketball as well. Kind enough to join us for a couple moments. What's going on, Jonathan?
Q, how's everything going, man?
Everything's going well, and let's get right into it. And again, for you guys out there, Jonathan does a great job. You can follow him on Twitter, ARN_John Marshall, and ReporterNews.com does a good stuff covering hoops. Hey, well, let's get to the Sixers for a minute. And you already heard, if you were on hold, me talking about him a little bit. I think Okafor is going to be a player. I think he's going to score some points, but I just need to see a little more on the defensive end at times. Is this a question of him just the lack of desire, not being coached up, or maybe that's just not what he's suited to do?
Well, first, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Q. I mean, offensively, I mean, he's gifted. I mean, from day one, he's been able to put the ball in the bucket at the pro level, and that's something that many of us expected, and he's proved to be true. Defensively, I mean, I think it's a mixture of him not being suited. I got to think this kid coming up from Chicago through Duke wasn't really relied upon to even defend. I know last year, to avoid foul trouble, he was encouraged, I believe, not to even play that much hard of a defense, because they were lacking in the front court. So this guy hasn't been really built up and trained to even focus on the defensive end coming up through high school and the college ranks. So automatically you're coming to the pro level where you're playing against a beast like DeMarcus Cousins. You're expected to turn it on just like that. It's not going to happen. Does he have the physical abilities to stand strong? I think he does, but with him, I just think it's a mindset. I mean, I watched some of last night's game against Sacramento. I saw him grab a strong rebound and put it back up for a strong dunk. On another episode, he's playing defense on DeMarcus Cousins, and Cousins just bullies right through him like it's nothing. So, I mean, it's just a mindset.
You think with a player of his caliber, and you look at the mental state and what he's gone through, and self-inflicted this year, a rough campaign, I should say, a rookie year outside, off the court. And you look at Brett Brown, who's trying to do the best he can with the pieces that he's been given by Hinkie in place. Is this a situation where, during this break, and especially the All-Star break, and maybe going into the offseason, this has to be more of a forget about coaching up. Look, I need you in the weight room. I need you in the gym. I need you banging with guys. Maybe bring in a guy that played center for 10 years in the NBA. We've seen teams do that year in and year out. I mean, for years, Patrick Ewing used to train with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and we saw Olajuwon for several years. They would bring in certain guys. I mean, you think this situation where the Sixers might say, look, we love the offensive game, but we're going to bring in a guy in the offseason, help you bang a little bit in the paint, and just kind of understand the physicality of the defensive end?
I think they're going to have to, Q. I mean, we can see the way he plays. I mean, he's a finesse type of player, and that's nice. That's going to give you a nice, solid career. You're going to be able to average double figures throughout your career. But to be that impact player that the Sixers need, I mean, they need that franchise guy. And at this point, I mean, we're not seeing it. And if they want Okafor to be that guy, if Okafor wants to be that guy, make no mistake, he has to be a two-way player. Two-way players those are the dynamic players. Those are the guys who are leading franchises to titles. At this moment, Okafor is not even close to being that two-way guy. So it's all from that mindset. Now, if it takes bringing a veteran guy to show him how it's done, then so be it. But the second half of the season, I think is crucial for Okafor, because if he's not showing any signs, any motivation to even focus on rebounding or defense, I mean, at this point, looking at this roster, everybody's up for a trade, and Okafor is included in that, especially if he's not showing any growth defensively.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point, too, because now with all these rumors circulating that the Clippers would be interested in trading Griffin, and in the NBA, you got to try to match up the salaries. You probably venture to guess maybe a third team gets involved in that. But you're absolutely right. When you're this young and you're a team that hasn't played winning basketball, and you know that they are acquiring draft picks and they're banking on draft picks and maybe free agents down the road, no one is off limits when it comes to trade. And I know there were some reports that Atlanta reached out, or the Sixers reached out to Atlanta regarding Teague. Look, I mean, I don't know if the Sixers are going to really be active around the trade deadline. I think they're just going to let it play out. But I agree with you. I think the second half of the season is important for them. They got to learn how to close some of these games. And again, you can only talk about talent for so long. And there are times where I've seen Brett Brown, who's trying to do his best, and he's a real nice guy, and he's a well-spoken guy. But I also see some of the personnel he has on the floor. I see very quick shot selection at times. Again, that's also coaching. You got to calm these guys down a little bit, teach them patience on the floor.
Now, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm watching the game last night, some of the game last night against the Kings. I'm like, oh, they have a big lead, but I mean, how long is this going to last? I mean, I feel bad for the Philly fans right now because they've experienced these moments of big leads, and you just know any moment now that team's looking at the scoreboard and saying, well, this isn't supposed to be happening, and they just turn it on. And you can say all you want about, oh, it's Sacramento, they have the talent. Sacramento is a mess. That's a team that pretty much George Karl was about to get fired. Now they're saying he's the coach again. Who knows what's going on? The fact that with that group of characters, with that mess of a front office, the team was able to come back from that deficit and on your home floor. I mean, that's just an indictment on that whole team right now, from coaching all the way down to the players. I mean, Brett Brown has done a great job for sure with what he's had to deal with talent-wise or lack thereof. But at a certain point, you got to look at the coach and say, I mean, what are you doing? Are you coaching the right way as far as in the game situations? Because it shows. You cannot have a 20-point lead against a team like Sacramento, who's in complete disarray. You can't lose on your home floor. That just can't happen. Yeah,
and I always like to give credit where credit's due. Josh Henning does a great job on the other side of the glass in the studio. Just text me. He goes, you know what? With Brett Brown and his connections with the Spurs, put in a call to the Admiral. Put in a call to David Robinson. See if he can work with Okafor in the offseason.
No, I mean, the Admiral is definitely a respectable guy. I mean, even if have a Tim Duncan a mentor.
Sure, absolutely.
Because offensively, you can sort of see, Okafor's style is sort of like a Tim Duncan, sort of finesse, fundamentally sound guy. But people people forget defensively, Duncan is a monster. So
yeah.
He can definitely show some things for Okafor.
Let's move on. The Knicks, we talked about this last week. I mean, we talked about Derek Fisher. I told you I didn't think he was going to make it to the All-Star break. Rambis takes over. Look, the problem with Fisher is he's not a very good head coach. He had no business coaching the Knicks. And also, before he was fired, he basically made the comment that, hey, we're in a rebuilding stage. We're not playing competitive basketball. It's okay if we don't make the playoffs. You can't say that. You can't say that in New York. And the fact is, they're a better team because of Porzingis, but they are so desperate for a point guard. I watch this team night in and night out, and you have opposing guards taking them off the dribble. I mean, I'm not talking about the John Walls, but I'm talking about like the Ish Smith. And you look at a guy like Jose Calderon. I don't care if he had 18 points last week against Memphis. He's not an NBA starting guard. He's got minimum scoring. He's got no defense. Galloway's cooled off from his hot start of the season. So they're so desperate for depth at the point guard position. As far as any trade rumors out there, what are you hearing? I mean, there's names out there, maybe like Jennings, maybe Lawson in Houston. But what would be a good fit here for the Knicks as far as getting some depth?
I mean, I'm hearing the name Jeff Teague. That really doesn't excite me. I mean, Jeff Teague has proven himself to be a solid player for the Hawks for the last couple of years. Ty Lawson, a guy who's had troubles in Denver, currently in Houston. I don't think going to New York would be the solution for a guy with his issues off the court. So that's definitely a no-no. I look at New York. I mean, the lack of draft picks. I mean, they're pretty much in an interesting situation because you locked up Melo for an absurd amount of money for a guy who is one-dimensional. He always has been and always will be at this point. Porzingis is a nice building block, but at this point, what other moves can you make? I mean, are you going to go after a Westbrook in the next couple of years? For me, that's the only thing that they can do at this point when it comes to solving their point guard issues, because you're not going to be able to get a top-quality draft pick in the upcoming draft. I think Westbrook will probably be the only target for them, unless are you going to go after a Mike Conley?
No. I don't know. Are you kidding me? Conley is just another. He's a poor man's version of Calderon. No, and he's going to want max. He's going to want max money. I mean, you look at Jennings over in Detroit. The way Reggie Jackson's been playing, I think he's more of a liability, possibly good trade bait, free agent this summer. Actually, you mentioned Lawson for a second. I want to get to Houston in a moment, but you've got Thibodeau, you've got Walton, you've got Rambis now. Look, you got to win in the NBA, you need upper echelon talent. And the way the rules are right now in the NBA, this is not the Pat Riley-led Knicks. This is not the Pat Riley-led Heat. You can't play defense the way you used to want to play defense. The great teams over yesteryear that have won, that style is gone. If I'm the Knicks, though, you need to make a push and make the playoffs because they don't have a draft pick next year. They have to at least say, okay, I'm a viable attraction to a potential free agent. But it also starts with the head coach. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to ride it out with Kurt Rambis? I don't even know if Luke Walton would want the job.
If I'm Luke Walton, New York is not a situation I want to get into.
What about Thibodeau?
Thibodeau, with his mindset, with what we heard out of Chicago after a while, is he going to be able to mesh with Carmelo Anthony? Is he going to be able to get Carmelo Anthony to actually dedicate himself to being in shape and playing defense? I mean, I don't see how that works. If Melo's not there, maybe. I just don't see how Tibbs is going to mesh with Carmelo. I mean, we heard issues with that Bulls locker room, guys who aren't afraid to get down and play defense. After a while, that wearing thin. I just don't. I don't know if that would be the right mix for Tibbs and Melo in New York. Would it be a good hire for the Knicks franchise? Yes. But as far as Carmelo and Tibbs, I mean, will that work? I'm hesitant on that.
Again, a couple minutes with Jonathan Marshall. Two more quickies for you before we let you get out of here. We'll take you up to 2 o'clock straight up on a Thursday. Bernie Bickerstaff basically not only said that the Rockets were a broken team, he looked like a broken man. I mean, what's going on with Houston? Because every year you seem to think Houston has talent. They've got Howard, they've got players, but yet year in and year out, they just can't seem to put it together.
I mean, pretty much looking at Houston, a talented roster full of guys who can do a lot of things. You look at the James Hardens, the Dwight Howards, the Josh Smiths, Ty Lawson's, but for whatever reason, they just haven't been able to put it together. I mean, you look at the two leaders, Dwight Howard and James Harden, they have their own issues. Dwight, physical issues, hasn't been able to be the guy that we expect him to be. And James Harden, I mean, after signing that $200 million contract with Adidas, expressing himself as the MVP last year, he really hasn't lived up to that self-proclaimed hype. So you got to look at the top for Houston, especially in the front office. I mean, they made these decisions to make this roster and to combine Dwight Howard and James Harden and make those guys your leaders. Outside of what they've done previously, they really haven't shown that they can lead teams to a championship. So these are your two guys, and this is what you're stuck with, a talented roster, but just really there's no leadership on the court. And it seems like there's no leadership off the court either. And this is the mess that you have, a team full of underachievers pretty much. We'll
talk about this a little more next week. I was going to just ask you real quick with the rankings of some of these all-time greats that ESPN did. Listen, anytime I see Larry Bird ahead of Bill Russell right there, sorry, there's no credence to that. That's just, yeah, I mean, are you kidding me?
Russell is the ultimate champion. He revolutionized defense. I mean, at his size back then, 6'9", be able to run the floor.
Yeah, but I can't take a list serious when I see that. I don't care who does it.
Russell has definitely, when it comes to history, he's definitely forgotten about. It's definitely something I've seen a lot on a lot of lists. Russell doesn't get his just due.
Yeah, either does Baylor, either does Oscar Robertson. I mean, even other guys like Dave Bing. I mean, some of these guys people just don't know. And you're right. I mean, even some of these small, man, for being under 6. I mean. And then you look at a guy like Steph Curry that every time he shoots, the ball just doesn't even touch the rim. I mean, you talk about one of the pure shooters. He is. I mean, it's like watching.
He's handling the ball.
Yeah.
Imagine like AI with a jump shot.
Unbelievable. Because he's killing guys. Yeah, and he's killing guys off the dribble. I mean, the beauty with him is it reminds me of what Bird and Miller used to do, and not even create the shot, but just basically give themselves a little bit, just a little bit of opening, whether it's a crossover, whether it's coming off a screen, and then just boom. If he wanted to, Jonathan, he can probably score 50 a night.
I mean, easily. I mean, he's the most unguardable guy in the league right now. Really, I mean, what do you do if you play up on him? He's going to drive right by. You can't play off of him. I mean, he's going to drain that three like it's nothing. So Steph Curry is special, and he knows it. I mean, he has that confidence. He has that confidence that superstars have right now. You can see it every time he's out there with the ball. It's like he's moving in slow motion. The game is in slow motion for him right now. He's in that zone.
I'll tell you one thing with the Warriors, though. Their style of offense, they get up and down the floor. I mean, I'm not talking like D'Antoni with the 7 seconds or less. Mm-hmm. The one thing from watching enough of the Warriors over the last several years, they have spurts where they're a little careless with the ball. They turn the ball over. I'm not going to say it's kryptonite or their Achilles heel, but at times you'll see them just with some sloppy turnovers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, with that style of play, that's going to happen. When you're constantly moving fast, moving the ball around, I mean, those lapses are going to happen. But the thing is, they start off so strong.
Sure.
The other team makes their run.
Yep.
Golden State is ready to get back going again.
Yep, absolutely. All right, my friend, listen, got to hit a break. I appreciate it as always. We'll chit-chat next week. Good stuff as always.
All right, Q.
All right, you got it. All right, Jonathan Marshall does a great job covering college and NBA hoops.